When I started sketching, I already had the finished painting in front of me, serving as a guide for the overall composition. I took a B2 pencil. It produces a soft line that's easy to correct with an eraser, and began by constructing the silhouette. First, I outlined the oval of the head, the center line, and the proportions of the figure, ensuring that the figure occupied the space as confidently as in the original work. Then I refined the position of the shoulders, arms, and waistline, trying to maintain the character's expressive pose. After that, I drew the contours of the dress, noting the main decorative elements, the floral motifs, and the line of the belts. I moved on to the details of the face, the eyes, eyebrows, and lips, all done with light touches to avoid harshness and leave room for further refinement. I softened excess lines with an eraser, cleaning up unnecessary strokes, achieving a clean and crisp drawing. Then I carefully added interior details, a window, wall elements, and a hanging object. The sketch turned out clear, structured, and ready for coloring. Once the sketch was completely finished, I prepared acrylic paints and 3 brushes, a fine one for details, a medium one for localized areas, and a large one for large surfaces. I started with the background, as it sets the atmosphere of the entire scene. I chose golden brown tones to evoke warm wood or soft, diffused lighting. Using a large brush, I gently spread the acrylic over the surface, being careful not to go beyond the character's outline. I painted the window with a rich blue, using a medium brush to achieve an even, dense color that creates contrast with the figure. After the background, I moved on to the clothing. It's the central element of the painting. The dress is conceived as bright, almost fiery, so I chose an intense red. I used a medium brush to conceal the main areas, and a fine brush to highlight decorative elements, flowers, belts, and small mechanical patterns. I deliberately left the outline darker to create a graphic style reminiscent of a mix of comics and Art Nouveau. I added green accents to the hands with a rich tone to break up the dominance of red and highlight the look. Next, I moved on to the hair. I used a mixture of ochre and brown, applying the paint in smooth strokes with a medium brush to create a sense of texture. It was important to leave highlights and shadows, simulating the play of light. For individual strands, I used a thin brush, emphasizing the dynamic lines. The face required precision. First, I created an even base with plenty of white and nude paint. Using a medium brush, I carefully blended the transitions, avoiding dense strokes. Then, with a thin brush, I worked on the eyes, eyelashes, and lips. I applied the black lines very delicately so as not to overpower the expression. I enhanced the red of the lips with a subtle highlight to give the character expressiveness and vibrancy. After the face, I focused on the small details, the bracelets, tattoos, pendant, and small decorative lines on the dress. A fine brush allowed for precise drawing, and contrasting accents created a multi-layered effect. I left the tattoos stylized to emphasize the character's personality. The final stage was working on the surrounding objects, the hanging object, the branching stick, and the window elements. I used a limited palette to avoid overloading the composition. Blue, brown, and red nuances. I applied all the lines and strokes confidently, maintaining the overall style a blend of graphic and acrylic painting. The resulting work is vibrant, high contrast, emphasizing the central character and richly decorative. Critical assessment of the painting. What worked well? A very expressive color scheme. Red, blue, and gold create a strong visual contrast. The character's figure appears confident and takes center stage in the composition. The decorative elements on the dress add personality and create a sense of symbolism and hidden meaning. The eyes and lips are especially well crafted. They are vibrant and captivating. The graphic black outline creates a unique style, reminiscent of a mix of comic art, modernism, and a touch of cyber fantasy. What could be improved? The left and right parts of the background are a bit disjointed. More transitions or details could be added to connect the spaces. The anatomy of the hands is a bit simplified in places. Some lines could be softened and evened out. In some places, the red is too dense, lacking transitions. Subtle gradients could be added for depth. The shadows on the face and body could be enhanced to give the figure more volume. The branches on the right could be more defined. They look a bit schematic compared to the detailed dress. What to add? Subtle highlights or gold accents on the dress. They would emphasize its complexity. A bit of texture in the background, brushstrokes, wood grain, or the texture of the wall. Subtle shadows under the figure to ground her in the space. What style is the work in and who might like it? The painting combines elements of graphic art, neo-modernism, comic book stylization, and fantasy essayism. It is bright, emotional, and decorative. It will appeal to people who enjoy vibrant character illustrations, art with an emphasis on clothing and symbolism, works reminiscent of an art book for a game or fantasy novel. A combination of simple graphics and rich paintings, female images with mystical or alternative energy.